Okay, let's go ahead and talk about control types. Understand that everything we've talked about so far fits into one of these different categories. Okay, there's different control types for pretty much everything that we've talked about. Some will actually fall into multiple categories. So for a deterrent as an example, it's a system or a signage or some type of element that is designed to discourage people from doing something, whether it's accessing a network, entering a restricted area, so on and so forth. All right, here's a great example of one. All right, don't touch the sign. So basically, it's not preventive. Just because a sign's there, just because something is in place that can kind of give somebody a warning and a heads up, it doesn't mean it's going to actually prevent them from doing anything. So we have to take it a step further and be preventive if we actually want to be able to stop that activity from taking place. So a preventive control type are basically something that's designed to keep someone from doing something. So that could be a guard. Like I said, some guards are armed, some aren't. It could be fencing, and again, depending upon the type of fencing, that even still may not be preventive. If it has some type of barbed wire or razor wire up top that they literally can't get over top of it, then of course, yes, that's preventive. Locks on a door, windows, cabinets, things along these lines, these are all preventive, all right? A big burly security guard at the front door, that'll do it, right? So anything that can actually physically stop somebody from doing their intended action, that will be a preventive measure. And then we have detective. And detective basically is a control that can detect, hence the name, activity and initiate some type of action, whether that be sound an alarm, send an alert, or it could be record the activity for later analysis, right? As I said, it won't actually prevent the access or prevent the activity, but it certainly can assist in analyzing and investigating. And then we have compensating control type, and compensating controls basically enable a company to recover from an attack or a breach. Okay, you can kind of think of it as a quote unquote plan B, if you will. So compensating controls don't actually prevent, all right, but they allow a company to get back up and running quickly. So that could be an HA or high availability or a DR site, maybe a hot site, some type of disaster recovery, as we see in the example here. It could be backup and recovery systems in general to get us back up in the event of some type of catastrophe, a hot or a warm site, as I mentioned. A UPS or a backup power system. So if we have some type of failure in our power grid, we have a backup that can either get us back up and running or fail over quick enough that we notice no disruption in service, if you will. All right, so it compensates for the attack. It doesn't prevent it, but it compensates. And then we have technical controls. Technical controls are systems that are put in place to detect or prevent attacks. So that could be a network intrusion detection system or an intrusion prevention system, a unified threat management system. All right, so it can provide automated actions and responses. So it's not a people process. It's more of an automated systems process. All right, as we see here, we have some type of maybe a Palo Alto next gen firewall that can automatically detect, shut things down or issue alerts or do some type of automated workflow that doesn't necessarily require human interaction. And then we have administrative, and administrative control types, really things that focus on people. So risk assessments, planning, policies, and so on and so forth. So mandatory vacations that we've talked about before, the separation of duty, so that we understand that, or we can see whether we have some gaps in either our ability to get things done, or maybe somebody's doing some type of fraudulent activity. If we send them away, send them on vacation, don't let them allow access to the company, those types of things can be brought to light. Okay, so they are administrative types of controls that can help us reduce risk. Okay, so in this module, we talked about three main categories. Environmental controls, we talked about how to reduce risk by securing our infrastructure, optimizing power, heating, and our cooling designs. Remember the hot aisles, cold aisle, HVAC systems, and so forth. We talked about our physical controls, which is utilizing people and process to increase security and mitigate risks, whether it be locks, guards, fencing, things along these lines. And then we talked about the various control types or the various methods, both manual and automated, to deter, prevent, detect, and so forth, right? Whether they be attacks or attempted attacks. So I hope this module was informative for you. I'd like to thank you very much for watching.